guys, welcome to the cabin of the BMW M4 Competition Convertible xDrive. Sure, quite a mouthful, but quite a car, I think. South Africa remains one of the biggest markets for M cars in the world, and so I'm sure that this M4 Convertible, Competition Convertible, will for many of you be one of your, when it comes to new cars anyway, dream cars. For me, however, it's going to have to work pretty hard to convince me that it deserves to be in my dream car garage, because yeah, I'm not a big fan of firstly convertibles because I'm follically challenged, and secondly my experience with drop top M cars have shown me that traditionally you lose a lot of structural integrity and stiffness in the car, which is not great for a performance car, and you also add weight to make up for that lack of structural integrity, which also upsets the balance of the car. This car is 150 kilograms heavier than the coupe, and yeah, that's quite a lot, and that is, I think, potentially going to impact the driving experience. And so this is what we're going to do today. I'm on my way to a particularly challenging piece of road outside Simonstown in Cape Town called Red Hill Road. It's a piece of road I think that wouldn't be out of place in like something like the Monte Carlo Rally. So tight, twisty, uphill obviously, and we can do downhill as well, but also quite bumpy. And we're going to see how this car does in those challenging circumstances. So let's see. It does make a lovely noise. The BMW M4 Convertible is available in South Africa only in competition trim with the M xDrive all-wheel drive setup. Its arrival marks the return of the fabric top for BMW's mid-range convertible, giving the new M4 not only a more classical appearance with the roof raised, but the roof itself is also about 40% lighter than the folding metal hardtop of its predecessor. Still, at around 2 tons, this is by no means a lightweight sports car. Don't let the various carbon fiber bits fool you. The soft top roof also takes up less space, and so BMW claims that the boot offers 80 liters more storage space than before. And as long as what you're carrying are mostly soft bags, you'll get a surprising number of them in the back. Under the bonnet is the M4 Competition Coupe's fabulous twin turbocharged straight 6 that delivers a whopping 375 kilowatts and 650 newton meters of torque. Coupled with BMW's fast-shifting 8-speed transmission, this hefty drop-top can sprint to 100 km per hour in 3.7 seconds. Also note the very evident bracing elements on display here, all in the quest for extra body stiffness. The M4 Competition Convertible rides on BMW's adaptive M suspension and a mixed set of rubber, 19 inches at the front and sticky 20-inch Michelins at the rear. Moving inside, there is genuine space for 4, excellent build quality and some truly lovely details. When you slide into these M4 emblazoned seats and look around, you'll be in no doubt that you're in something special. A fantastic blend of sportiness and luxury. BMW is well aware that for many people the M4 Competition Convertible will have to be at least as good a luxury car as a sports car, and so this particular test unit even has a heated steering wheel. Of course, there are loads of optional extra boxes you can tick, but what remains standard are these 2 bright red M mode buttons, which allow you to pre-program your favorite driving settings. The gear shift paddles are nicely positioned and far more likely to be used than the tap functionality of the traditional gear shifter. Instrumentation is fully digital, as you'd expect at the price, but there are M-specific displays and controls. So a really nice part of this experience is that you can put the roof down while the car is moving. And the roof is pretty quick in its operation. It only takes 18 seconds, they say, and you can do it speeds of up to, I think, about 60 kilometers per hour, 50 maybe. Yeah, it's convenient. There we go. The other nice thing is, you know, in the past you really needed that screen in the back to stop this sort of buffeting noise in the cabin. But this one, don't really need it. I mean, the cabin is pretty free of any sort of turbulence, which is really cool. Right, so let's get all these settings right. Engine Sport Plus, chassis Sport because this is a bumpy road, steering Sport, brake Sport. I'm going to leave the xDrive in four-wheel drive because to go four-wheel drive Sport or to go two-wheel drive mode, it's really for the track, and you have to switch off your dynamic stability control for that. And this, as I said, is a really bumpy, narrow bit of road, so really not suitable for that. But anyway, let's have some fun. Does sound good, doesn't it? And this 8-speed ZF box really suits the car. Yeah, it's got big punch and so super responsive on the throttle. Nice hairpin coming up. Yeah, it's a very bumpy road, guys, and this is a lot better than I expected, like a lot. In fact, it is quite superb. What I really like about it is that, you know, sometimes when they try to stiffen something up which has lost rigidity, it makes the car skittish because I haven't sorted the suspension out properly. With this one, and specifically in this mode, it really does seem to, it suppresses the imperfection in the road or the bump, deals with it, the body is settled, and you can go on concentrating on your steering and on throttle application and all that kind of stuff. So very good. There's a bit of space again, so down to first gear. This is amazing! Beautiful brakes as well. That's excellent. that inline 6-cylinder engine, that twin turbo, and 650 newton meters of torque, which is 50 less than what you get in the Merc. But you know, if you play around with the modes and you're in the right gear, the response is so immediate. I don't think you'll actually ever feel like you're lacking 50 newton meters of torque, and that's a massive problem. It's beautifully matched to this 8-speed box as well. And what I like is when you really lean on the car, even just in plain four-wheel drive mode, it does still feel quite rear biased, so it feels like a BMW, which is really nice. Right, I guess it's time to come to some sort of a conclusion. Now, don't get me wrong, guys, this car has really surprised me. I didn't expect it to be as entertaining to drive, as good to drive, as engaging to drive as it was up that road. So it does tick those boxes, and I think in terms of people expecting an M-car experience and what, you know, and everything that means, this is by far the best M-car convertible that I've ever driven, by far. So if you're a bit of a purist and you're also quite tempted by a convertible, I think for the first time what you have here is a convertible M-car that actually isn't too much of a compromise, which is great. What's also great is I've been living with this car for about a week and a half now. I've been using it on the school run, so believe it or not, 3 teenage boys in the car with me, all of them about the same height as me, 1.8 meters tall, with all their school bags, dog bags and the works, and we've been quite comfortable. I've been doing the run to the office, to the shops, and the car does all of that really well. But it's not really what it's about. This car has multiple personalities, as I said, so it's a comfortable daily. And then secondly, if you put it in the right modes and you find the right road, it's a fiery character, really exciting to drive. And then thirdly, you put everything back in the more relaxed modes, you put the sound on, you put the roof down, and you've got an elegant GT, which, you know, looks really cool cruising down the strip. Less sort of pornographic than, let's say, the coupe. More elegant, more glamorous. So it does all of those things really well, but it does cost 2.2 million rand, so it should do everything very well. But let's look a little bit at the rivals, because I think the person who buys this kind of car is an interesting character. At the moment, the Mercedes-Benz C-Class is still the old generation, so it's the V8 C63S, a bit of a brute, not nearly as polished a driver's tool as this. And so, as far as 4-seater convertible performance cars go, this really is as good as it gets at the moment at this price level. And then you've got your 2-seaters, your Jag F-types, which in R form, which is what would compete with this, is significantly more expensive actually, for less practicality. So if you want a 4-seater convertible that's really exciting to drive, really fast, and it's got a real wow factor, this is the car for you. And if you're a BMW purist, it's going to be an easy decision. This is the car that you'll dream about at night, and which is actually capable of living up to those dreams. If you're not a BMW purist though, and if you're not particularly a BMW man, and if you don't necessarily need the 2 seats in the back, then I do think a Porsche 911 Carrera S Cabriolet at roughly the same price is a bit of a problem, because that car is more of a pure sports car, has a more desirable badge, And if you're buying this, I'm also expecting or suspecting that you want to show off a little bit. And I don't think a BMW M car can ever compete with a Porsche in that regard. So yeah, as much as I like this car, for similar money, I'd be heading to a Porsche dealership. But maybe that's just me. Thanks so much for joining me on this drive, guys. Really appreciate the support so far. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing. Appreciate it. Cheers.